Hey guys, this is God of Politics. Welcome back to a brand new video, but before we get started with this video, please like this video and subscribe to the channel. Also, follow me on Twitter and join the Discord. Those are both linked down in the description. But in today's video, I do want to talk about the Latino vote in this election and why did Joe Biden perform so poorly with Latino voters, especially in certain places. Now, if you were watching election night, you would have seen that one of the most notable things early on when the Florida results dropped was that Joe Biden was only leading Miami-Dade County by 10 percentage points. So at around 7:30 p.m. we had most of the results come in from Florida, and we had about 80% of Miami-Dade reporting, and Joe Biden was only winning it by 10 percentage points. And the reason that's so significant is if you go back to 2016, Hillary Clinton won this county by almost 30 percentage points. Joe Biden only ended up winning it by, you can see here, 7.3% in the end. It may even tighten because we have more votes to come in from there, but that was really not a good number for Joe Biden. And the main reason is due to his underperformance with Latino voters. Sure, he did worse with some other voters in Miami-Dade County, but part of the reason was that he didn't do very well with Latino voters. And we can see this in the exit polls. For example, if we go back to 2016 and we look at the exit polls from the state of Florida here, we can see that if we go to race, we can see Hillary Clinton won Latino voters by 27 percentage points. If we go over here to 2020 and we go to Florida and we see the Latino vote here, if we do go down to where it does say race, it does say here, Joe Biden only won Latino voters by 5 percentage points. And sure, Cuban voters are more conservative, but that may be part of the reason why Donald Trump was able to make inroads with them. Now, the first reason I do think that Donald Trump was able to do better is he did make an outreach to these voters. He did run ads in the Florida area, especially in the Miami-Dade area, and, in some other areas like Texas too. We'll talk about that in a second. But he did make an effort to go out and get the Latino vote. And, part of his campaign strategy was painting Joe Biden as, a radical left socialist. And, while Joe Biden isn't a socialist, I do believe that campaign strategy actually did work, especially with some Cuban voters, because, Cuban people, many of them escaped communism under Fidel Castro. They are now in America, and they do not like communism and socialism. So, Donald Trump, even though it's misleadingly painting Joe Biden as a socialist, it seems as if that strategy is effective. And the reason I think that it's effective is, while Joe Biden didn't do as well with Latino voters overall, he did do very well with Latino voters in certain places. So if we do want to look at a state like California, for example, we look at the California exit polls here. And we can see that if we do go to California and we go to race here, we can see that Joe Biden won Latino voters by 56 percentage points. If we go back to 2016 and we look at the exit polls from California, remember, Joe Biden won Latinos by 56 percentage points. Hillary Clinton only won the Latino vote by, you can see here, 56 percentage points as well. So actually, we can see here, Hillary Clinton actually won the Latino vote by 47 percentage points. So she won the Latino vote by 47 percentage points in 2016, and Joe Biden won the Latino vote by 56 percentage points. So that is an improvement over Hillary Clinton. And, in California, the type of Hispanics you had, Hispanics are not a monolith. They don't vote in vote patterns together. It's not a uniform swing, but because, you do have different types of Hispanics. Like I said, you have the Cuban voters who I believe were swayed by Donald Trump's rhetoric over Joe Biden, misleadingly labeling him as a socialist. But you do have Hispanics in California, which are predominantly more Mexican Hispanics, and those voters went more towards the Democratic Party. Another state we can look at is a state like Wisconsin, for example. Now, if we do look at the state of Wisconsin, we do go to race here. Joe Biden won Latino voters by 25 percentage points. And we go down to 2016, and we go to the presidential race in the state of Wisconsin. Hillary Clinton won Latino voters by 29 percentage points. So only a 4% decrease in the Latino voter. That is nowhere near what it was in Florida. We can see the same thing if we go to, for example, a state like, actually we can go to a state Another state that's a good example is the state of Pennsylvania. So we go to the state of Pennsylvania. In 2016, Hillary Clinton won Latino voters by 52 percentage points here. And if we do go to 2020 and we go to the state of Pennsylvania, remember Hillary Clinton won them by 52 percentage points. Joe Biden in this election won the Latino vote in Pennsylvania. We can see here if we just scroll down, he won the Latino vote by 47. He won it by 42 percentage points. So again, he didn't do as well. But he had nowhere near the faults that he had in the state of Florida. And, people were not expecting him to do as well. If, we do want to go nationally and we look at the Latino vote, we look at the national vote, we go up here and we can see that if we do look at the national result, Hillary Clinton won Latino voters by 38 percentage points. Joe Biden, on the other hand, in this election, won the Latino vote by 33 percentage points. That is only a 5% decrease. He still got 65% of the Latino vote. He got, virtually the same number as Hillary Clinton. Donald Trump just improved on his 2016 margin. So, overall, Joe Biden only did worse in specific places, and that is clearly very apparent in areas like Miami-Dade County, in areas like Palm Beach County, areas like Osceola County. We can look at the trend. You can see here Miami-Dade was 22 points more red than 2016. Hendry County, 9 points. Broward County, 5 points. Osceola County, 11 points. Next, we look at a state like Texas. Now, here's the really, really big and really interesting one. You can see the trend here. Look at how big this is. We can see here that I believe this is, I don't know why it says Starr County. It should be Zapata County. But Zapata County went to Donald Trump by 5.4 percentage points. However, if we go back to 2016 and we look at the state of Texas here, we can see that this county was safe blue. Hillary Clinton won it by 33 percentage points. Donald Trump wins it by over 5 percentage points. That's a 38-point swing. A 38-point swing here. You look at some of these other areas. Starr County was won by Joe Biden by 5 percentage points. In 2016, this county was won by Hillary Clinton by, 56, almost just over 60 percentage points. So that's another 55-point swing. These areas along the border here were areas that Joe Biden barely won. So that's another example where Joe Biden did a lot worse with Hispanic voters. We look at an area like Harris County. Joe Biden won this county by 13 percentage points. Hillary Clinton won this county by just under 13 percentage points here. But if you look at the precinct map, Hillary Clinton did better in the inner city area with more Latino voters. She did worse in the outer city area in the suburbs where Joe Biden capitalized on the suburban gains. So if you look at a state like Texas, if Joe Biden had done as well in these border counties, in areas like El Paso, he had done better in areas like Harris County by doing better in the inner city, he would have, gotten a lot closer in the state of Texas. Same thing in Florida. If he had done as well as Hillary Clinton did in Miami-Dade County and Osceola County, he made areas of the state trend blue. He made the Panhandle part of it trend blue. He made the Jacksonville area, Duval County area trend blue. He made northern Orlando trend blue. So there's areas that he could have improved in and actually won the state, but it is because he didn't do as well with Latino voters. And, I said part of that was due to the fact that Donald Trump made an outreach to these voters. Another reason was that, Bernie Sanders spent a lot of time in the primary trying to curb a lot of these voters. If we want to go, for example, to a state like Nevada, we'll go to a state of Florida. This is Florida, the exit polls from Florida from 2016 here. Hillary Clinton won the Latino vote by 36 percentage points. And we look at the results from the state of Florida here, and we look at Miami-Dade County. You see the turnout here was 173,000 voters here. 173,000. We go to the 2020 primary here, and the turnout here was, 130,000. And the turnout was virtually the same overall. It was a little bit higher in 2016 in Florida, but you could tell early on that there were signs that Democrats were not going to do as well. And I can imagine, Joe Biden won Miami-Dade County very easily, but I can imagine a lot of the votes that Bernie Sanders got were amongst Latino voters. And maybe they didn't like him because he was Cuban or whatever, but he did make inroads with those voters. And, many of those voters may not even have turned out at all, and they would have turned out for Trump in the general election. We just, we know that Joe Biden did not do very well amongst these voters. Another example is the state of Nevada. We can look at the Nevada exit polls here. Hillary Clinton actually lost the Latino vote here by 8 percentage points to Bernie Sanders here. But we look at the result overall in the state of Nevada. We go to Nevada up here. Hillary Clinton won by 5 percentage points and she lost the Latino vote by 8. However, if we go to the 2020 primary here, we can see that Bernie Sanders won Nevada fairly easily. And if we go to the exit polls here, we go to the state of Nevada, and we look at the exit polls from the state of Nevada, we can see that if we do look at the exit polls, and we look at the Latino vote, Bernie Sanders won the Latino vote by more than what he won by overall. He won it by 33 percentage points. He cracked 50% with all of these other candidates with the Latino voters because he ran in 2016. He didn't do very well with non-white voters, and the way he made inroads was, looking at what those voters wanted and appealing to it. And Bernie Sanders did better in the primaries, and a lot of those people didn't turn out to vote for Joe Biden. They didn't feel energized to turn out for Joe Biden, and a lot of them ended up voting for Trump because Trump, again, made that outreach after a lot of them voted for Bernie in the primary. So there's a lot of reasons, and, we will never understand fully why Joe Biden didn't do very well with Latino voters in states like Florida and Texas. We have an educated guess, as I just, outlined a number of those reasons, but, the Hispanic vote is not a monolith. It is not going to trend fully. Is this a sign that Latino voters are trending red overall? I wouldn't say so. You go back to 2004, George Bush won 45% of the Hispanic vote. You go to the next election and with Barack Obama, and he wins 70% of the Hispanic vote almost. So it doesn't mean that Hispanic voters are trending red, but this is a good way for Republicans in the future if they do want to do well because, it can save a state like Texas for them. It can save a state like Florida for them. It can save a state, even like Arizona. It can save some of these states. It can help them win a state like Nevada. So it is going to help the Republican Party in the future if they can make inroads with Hispanic voters. I think that the fact that Trump did well with Hispanic voters was less about Joe Biden's was less about Donald Trump's strength, but more about Joe Biden's weaknesses. I don't think that was very apparent by what we were seeing, but there's a lot we don't know. If I need to make another video about this, I will, but I did think this was a very important topic that I did want to talk about, and I hope you all enjoyed this video. So please like this video and subscribe to the channel. Also, follow me on Twitter and join the Discord that is linked down in the description. So again, guys, thank you all for watching this video, and I will see you guys later.